Hi everyone, thank you for joining another episode of Bear's Appetit, and today we are making garlic and rosemary focaccia. Let's get going. So, to make one of the best breads on the planet, all you need is strong white bread flour, fast action yeast, rosemary, garlic, salt, and olive oil. So you're wanting to start off with 500 grams of the flour. So just dump that into your mixing bowl. Nope, that's way too much. So if you ever pour too much, just use a spoon. 1 gram too much. And there we go, bob on 500. You are then going to want to get your salt, and you're going to want 2 teaspoons of salt. Now, the trick to making bread and focaccia in particular is to keep your salt and your yeast apart for as long as you can do it. So what I normally do is I normally put the salt into one side. You are then needing 7 grams of fast-acting yeast. So the reason that you keep the yeast and the salt separate for the time being is because if the salt comes directly in contact with the yeast, it will kill it and you will not get bread. You'll get a Frankenstein's mess. So after a bit of a tidy up, then you've got your flour, your yeast and your salt. This is where you want to mix it together. But to make sure that these don't combine directly, just mix it from the middle and then very slowly mix them all together. Because if you mix the yeast and the salt directly, it will kill the yeast and then you won't end up with a decent rise in your bread. So after a few seconds, everything should now be mixed in together. Now make a well in the centre, and time for the liquids. So what you want to do now is add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2, and then you want to add up to 350 millilitres of lukewarm water. Now it has to be warm because this activates the yeast, so you don't want it too hot, but we'll do it bits at a time and just start stirring it with your spoon. When it starts getting dry, just add a bit more. Now you are wanting it a thick, sticky dough. So the minimum water that you're going to need is 350 millilitres. And when it gets too difficult to use your spoon, this is where humanity's greatest tool comes into it, the hand. Yep, that is now too difficult by a spoon. So we'll just clean the spoon off. And let's get sticky. Now, once you get your hands in, you will feel the elasticity of the bread, because that's what we're basically making. We're making bread. Add your water and just keep mixing it. Now, you are going to get very, very messy, but trust me, it is so worth it. Just keep mixing it until you have a nice dough, and we'll come back once it is ready. So I have now put this onto the counter, and this is where you need to use your hands. Do you like what I did there? Need. because you now need to knead this for about 5 minutes. Pull it over, push in with your palm into the center, pull back, and then pull. And then just keep doing that with both hands. Pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. Add more flour when needed. No more kneading jokes. And you're going to want to do this for about 5 minutes. When it feels that it's getting too sticky, just add a little bit more flour. But just keep working. So palm into the center, push, pull, fold, push. Tell you what, if you've not been to the gym, you can definitely feel it. Now, don't be afraid of actually using a bit of strength on this because it needs it. A bit more flour. And the reason that we do this for 5 minutes is because the warm water and the yeast are basically coming together, and the yeast is creating your bready structure within the middle of it. So this has been kneaded for about 5 minutes. As you can see, it is now not sticky, which is the way that you want it. If you mold it into a oval shape, bring over your dish and just lay it in the dish. Once you place it into a pan, you are going to want to get a warm dishcloth and just lay it over the top. And yes, it is a hocus pocus one. And you want to keep it in there to prove for 1 hour until it's doubled in size. So what you want to do now is grab your garlic, break the bulbs. Now if you know me, you know I love garlic, so we're going to have quite a bit. 5 bulbs should do. So when you've got your garlic peeled, you're not going to slice and dice them. What you're going to do is quarter them. Do that with each, so just cut in half and in half again. Because these will go on top of the focaccia just as it goes in the oven. Then you'll end up with some absolutely perfect roasted garlic on top of your focaccia. So now all we need to do is wait for the dough to prove, and then we'll be back in an hour. Okay, so it's now been 1 hour since we covered this with a warm cloth, and it has dramatically gotten bigger by a hell of a lot. Now, what we are wanting to do is grab another tin, and you are wanting to just stick some oil in there and just work it around the edges with either a pastry brush or some trusty wet wipe. Just around all the edges, only because once the bread's cooked, you do not want it to stick to the pan. So just nice around the edges. Okay, and now once that has been seasoned and turned to non-stick, just transfer this over to your other bowl. Oh, you see all the air pockets in that. Just pop it in. Try and get it all out. Now you might need to flour your hands to do this, otherwise your hands may end up covered in dough. Once you have, just stretch the dough into the corner of each of your pan. Now don't be afraid to actually stretch it. Make sure it's kind of leveled out throughout. Now it will expand, so don't worry about it. Now this is where you're going to want to make some indentations, so just grab your fingers and just indent it like that. Now you want to take the garlic that you got earlier and just put bits into some indentations. So just keep it spread out, make sure you don't get any garlic skin. Now when you're getting them, just slightly push them into the dough. All across. Now if you love garlic like me, have a lot of garlic. If you're not a fan of garlic, you can actually do this with anything you want, including chilies. You can use less garlic, you can do olives, you can do anything that has your favourite flavour in them, including cherry tomatoes. You're then going to want to get some of your salt and just sprinkle it over the top, just a light dusting. And then one final drizzle of olive oil across the top. And that is ready to go into the oven. While that is in the oven, just grab a very small tub, add a bit more olive oil, sprinkle in your rosemary. Now you want quite a bit of rosemary on this. And then give it a mix. Because this will be drizzled over the top of the focaccia for the last few minutes of cooking. So as we're in the last few minutes, just drizzle this over the top. Grab your trusty brush and just gently brush it over the top. Now it doesn't need much longer because as you can see, it is already near enough fully cooked. So we'll just stick it in for about another 3 minutes and then it'll be done. And there we have a garlic and rosemary focaccia. Now it's golden brown on top, and I don't know if you can hear this. How it sounds hollow inside. That means it's fully cooked. Now please let it cool down because it is still going to be very hot. And here is your end product. Now let's crack off a piece. Oh, do you hear that? Oh. Now that is perfect. It's light and fluffy on the inside. It's crispy on the outside. Only thing now is the taste test. So, bottoms up. Oh yeah, that's good bird. Probably would have put a bit more salt on the top, but oh, that's good. That is good. So that's how I made garlic and rosemary focaccia. I hope you enjoy watching this as much as I enjoyed making it. It was actually really fun to do. So if you have any comments, please drop them below. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow. Help this bear get growing. See you on the next one. Bye.